Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another Dark Park Film Reviews. And I am here today with my guest host.
Jonathan Moody.
Yes, Jonathan Moody. Thank you, sir, for being here. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to say my name or you're just taking this like giant pause for no reason.
No, I like that. Then
Okay.
then I'm frozen. Um,
Hmm.
and I asked Jonathan to join me on this video today because it is technically a part three to the importance of physical media videos that I did. The first one was with Cliff McMillan. The second one was an update on my Arrow films, and then this one is just physical media. And Jonathan and I love physical media, and it can be anything. It can be Blu-rays, DVD, VHS. They could be dramas, comedies, collections, box sets. It could be whatever you want it to be. And I have a bunch of all of that here. We're going to do 16 pieces each. We're going to divide them into 8. And then like I'll go, then Jonathan will go, then I'll go, then Jonathan will go, that type of thing.
Okay.
And so yeah. So
Let's
that's
kick it off.
yeah. Do you want to go first since you're my
Uh,
guest?
sure. Okay. Because yeah,
Okay.
usually the host will go second. That way they'll be last. So works for me. What just happened? Sorry, my computer's like my Zoom is telling me something. It gives me like thumbs ups randomly and things like that. Ah, it just did it again.
Now I
The
can see
next,
it. I couldn't see it before.
I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
giving thumbs up to physical media.
It gives thumbs up to physical media. Okay. Maybe if I go like that. Yep. If you
Ah,
actually give it a thumbs up, it does a thumbs up. That is so weird.
does it do it on mine?
I don't
Thumbs
know.
up to physical media. No, it doesn't.
No. Let
That's
me try it
funny.
again. Ah, you gotta go like this. You have to do it to the side like that. Like that.
Thumb,
Maybe the
thumbs
other
up to
side.
physical.
Maybe the other side. Because see how my hands are? No, I'm saying see how my hands are
Uh,
like that? So put your hands like
wait,
that.
I can only go. I can only go down.
You can't do that. That's so
But how
weird.
am I? How like this? It's like really uncomfortable.
I know, but it
No,
works.
it's not. It's
Apparently
not
it
doing
works.
it. That's weird.
Nope.
Okay. But at
Thumbs
least it's
up.
giving thumbs up instead of thumbs down. So
Give a thumbs down.
at least it's positive.
Ah!
No, that is funny. I've
Can
never seen that before.
you do a peace sign? Peace sign. There's a peace sign. Does it do that? Whoa! What in the
Wow,
world?
what is going on over there?
No. What in the world? I don't know how to do this. It just would randomly do it. And then I'd be like, okay, you know? And so,
All
like,
right, well,
what's rock on? I'm going to try all these signs real quick. Rock on. Rock on. Nope. I don't know. That's weird.
that's
All right.
weird. That's funny.
All right.
That's funny. So
Anyway,
okay.
let's
So
get to my
what are your first 8? What do you have for
okay.
us?
For my first eight, I actually decided to do Blu-ray, and uh, my lovely friend over here, John Ward, told me that he wanted us to do like the physical media, and I knew I could pick like DVD or some VH. I don't really have that many VHS anymore. I never had Laserdisc, never in my life, just never
Wow.
collected it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because when Laserdisc was around, my dad wasn't interested in it, getting like a Laserdisc player and getting like and I was a kid, so I did whatever, was in the house. So we got a Betamax player, we got a DVD player, and then we got a Blu-ray player, in the house or whatever, but we never had Laserdisc or anything. So, but I didn't start collecting till like years later until I was like in my 20s or so and whatnot. And so I would collect DVDs and then eventually Blu-rays and now 4Ks, and I got one HD DVD, but I'm not bringing that up here because that's
Well, why? I guess we should start. Why my whole reason for having you on here. Why do you like physical media? Why not just stream it?
Yeah, so good question. And it's a question that you know, so first of all, streaming when you have a streaming thing, you don't have any control over the movie. Whether or not it's you're going to keep it, you're not going to be able to keep it. Like say Amazon decides that they can't they're no longer doing business with whatever company or whatever thing, they'll get rid of your digital copy. And so you think, "Oh, I bought that. That's mine." And that's not necessarily true. Now, also, Amazon could go bankrupt or change, or whatever, and all of a sudden, that stuff you have could be non-existent anymore. There's another
Right.
company that existed in digital world that, now that actually has changed. So they've changed ownership. So the movies that they had no longer are around. They're just starting a whole new streaming platform. So that platform's going to go away. And so the people who bought movies from that platform no longer have them. And so it's sort of a waste if you think about it, because you just wasted. I mean, sure, you got to own it for however many years, but that's not really yours. And so I would rather have the physical copy of everything myself. So I did that. Also, physical media, there's no issues with licensing music, and things, because they've already handled that in the Blu-rays, supposedly, right? So like when you see a digital copy of something, the music may get changed, than what it was originally there. So I would rather own the movie. But that doesn't mean I always watch all my Blu-rays every day. I generally watch Tubi, I watch Stars, nah, not as much, but Peacock, Paramount Plus, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, Disney Plus. I own them all. I watch them all, or whatever. So just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Um, but I like to have the movies and TV shows in case Netflix decides to take out off Supernatural. I'll have Supernatural in or you know, or heaven forbid, nobody takes certain things, and I want them. You know, like they're hard to
Yeah,
find.
it used to be, back in the day, you found out that a movie was, this could be VHS, it could be Laserdisc, it could be DVD, and Blu-ray, to an extent, that when you found out that that movie was available and you went to work, you were excited. When I get off work, I'm going to go to blah blah store and buy this because it just came out today. And when it was VHS days, it was a year that the
Hmm.
movie would play, and then you would have to wait a year. Maybe it would show up on Showtime or HBO or one of those beforehand, but a lot of times you had to wait a whole year to get
Yeah,
that film. And remember, that was the big thing with like Halloween 4 and 5 is Halloween 4 came out a year later on VHS, the same month as
with
Halloween
the new,
5 hit the
yeah,
theater, and kind of ruined it, Halloween 5, because they
right,
they
because
double dipped. But
yeah.
it's you would have to wait now. And I still go to like Zia Records and all that stuff because I just went to Walmart and there's nothing. I mean, there's
And Best
nothing
Buy just
there.
got rid of all their physical media. Now, anybody who's actually saying physical media is dead is dead wrong. Yeah, it is not dead. It is not dying. It is still out there. There are companies like Arrow. Your buddy Cliff works for Arrow, but he worked for like Screen Factory, and Screen Factory is still out there doing stuff. Criterion, and a lot of them we're going to discuss because I have a lot of different companies that have different movies and stuff. And that to me is what's more fun. I like buying a lot of you know, um I like buying a lot of the boutique label stuff than I like buying and I'll still buy some of the newer movies occasionally, but I don't I don't know. Hollywood is so boring these days that I it really takes a lot for me to even be interested in going to the theater. Like I'm gonna go see
Oh
Ghostbusters
yeah,
Afterlife just because, or not Afterlife, good God, Frozen Empire.
Frozen Empire.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go see Frozen Empire because and I'm gonna see it at AMC, which is like 40 minutes away from me, just so I can get the Slimer bucket. They got me, man. Merchandising got me. I'm like, I need that Slimer bucket. But because I like everything Slimer. You probably don't know that, but because I don't think
I did not, but when I went to go see the fan screening, like on a Monday of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, I asked them if they had the posters and the pin, and the girl goes, "Well, I don't think we do, but we do have the cup and the popcorn container." And I'm like, I don't want that. I want my poster and my pin. Well, at the end of the movie, they had the poster and the pin, but it was I should have bought that drink cup and the popcorn
yeah, why
too.
not? I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of cool to
I
have.
kick myself now. Like, why did I not want that? That doesn't make sense to me. But it's something that you could display.
Yeah,
It's nice to have that type of stuff.
I
And
like
to a,
having it.
yeah, that's it's not physical media, but it is
If you look
physical.
up there, you can't really see it, but on that top thing is a bunch of my stuff that I what is it? I own that are like my pet monsters and other things that are just things that I own that I cherish. But
Oh, well, I
got
got
this
kind
from
of the, let's
Timu.
see if I can
I got
you
this from Timu. Little
oh, that's
Audrey
nice.
too. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, mine has up there the original Star Wars laser discs. I got some Funko.
Yeah,
I got a Ginger Dead Man that Tom Devlin gave me. I got some VHS of Tom Cruise.
a
You
lot more
know,
of my stuff's at the studio because I just don't have room here, for everything. So I'm a hoarder. I do hoard a lot of stuff. I'm not as bad as the people on those shows, but I'm one day maybe. I don't know.
oh
One day
my
maybe.
hoarding stuff is all movies. I mean, it's
Yeah.
look at this.
Yeah, I
I
get
don't
it.
even have a place to put them, and then there's stuff there, back there, there. I mean, my entire apartment is all
It's
cat
here.
toys
These are where this is where I put like that right there, right next to the Audrey 2 is where I put this camera. And that's like
hey, there's
basically
Immortal Wars that I'm in. I'm in that movie.
ah, I love
Immortal
Immortal
Wars
Wars.
Rebirth. I'm in that movie. Yay.
Woohoo.
Woohoo, good for
Um
you. Yeah, it's just, and then you have back then, same thing with going to see a movie. You'd be excited that was going to the theater, and then you would go, that day. Like I remember I used to take Fridays off to go see the movie in the theater.
mhm.
And so I mean you could go to whatever store and buy the movie because you were excited, or you could go to the theater
Uh-huh.
and see it. And then these days I'm now excited to get movies in the mail. So now
Right.
I'm always, and that could be an addiction I think I now have, is I always want something in the mail. I get disappointed when I come home and it's empty.
It's empty.
Yeah, and it's
It's
just
the
like, damn it, I
worst.
didn't get anything today. But it is nice finding this rare stuff that maybe you couldn't find. You can
Hmm.
find it on eBay. Like I found, I just did a video on this. I mean, I just found this, and this is
Nice.
not exactly legal. Got it, but
Oh yeah.
it's one of those thin cases, and I got it from one of those Asian countries. Because it's and this kind of goes along with what we're saying, and this isn't one of the ones I'm showing, but this is just an example. But it's like, Netflix, Hulu, now Tubi does it, where they make movies that they don't that they're not releasing. They're not really
Right.
because it forces you, because now everything is about views. And so if if Tubi releases the Amityville Curse, which I would buy to add to my Amityville collection, well, now they're not going to get views. So, and it's the same thing with this. So it's kind of like, to me, like, fuck you. I want this as the only Michael Bay movie I didn't own, and I'm going to find it. And I found it and I bought it.
Yeah.
And it, and they did it. They did an okay job with the whole thing. I mean, I don't really know why they sent one with this, but okay, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like, So, hey, new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, probably got to get it the same way. New Hellraiser, same way. It's probably going to have to come from some Asian country and overseas because they're just not releasing them, which makes it doesn't make sense to me, you know.
Nope.
And then these streaming things also they screw over people. Now, granted, Scarlett Johansson made a shitload of money, for like Black Widow, but then they did screw her over on the back end
Right.
by having it
And
released the same day
yep.
on like
They weren't supposed to
VOD.
do that. Yeah, there was a deal and they did not honor their contract, and
Yeah, and she
that was
ended
a
up
big deal.
suing them.
Hmm.
So it's like this whole thing is ridiculous, and there is something about holding that copy of the movie in my hand. There's a reason why my camera's aimed at all these is because I love my collection. It's just not aimed at just a blank wall.
Right.
And it's I mean, you got your bookcase there, you got your posters up. I mean, obviously you love movies, you love physical media, and that's why we're doing this
Yep.
video.
All right.
So
So here are my first eight. And so
okay,
like I said, they're
I,
all
I'm
Blu-ray and they're
I'm
from
excited.
a lot of them are from different companies. So this first one was from the company Synapse, and it's a movie we just did for Indie Film Cafe, but it hasn't been released. It's not gonna be released till actually should already be released by the time this comes out. So the episode, but it is Thou Shalt Not Kill Except.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of this movie, not just because it's, obviously Sam Raimi produced and stuff, but I know the director, I've interviewed the director, and he's awesome. So there you go.
And
Um,
who's the director on that to give him a shout out?
Josh Becker.
Okay.
He directed Running Time, Alien Apocalypse, Harpies. He's done some new movies too. One was called like Morning, Day, and Night, I think is what it was called, and the other one was called it was a Western that he did with Tom Matheson. So
Okay.
awesome. Um, that's his name Tom Matthews. Yeah,
So,
Tom
Tom
Matthews.
Matthews. Okay.
Yeah. And then this one's a Vestron release, and it is Dream a Little Dream. I don't know if
I
you've ever
which
seen that.
I saw it in the theater, and then it played at the theater that Cliff and I worked at. So
Nice.
together. So yes, I have seen
It's
that,
cute little.
and I even got to meet Meredith Salinger because she was in a friend of mine's movie, and she was at the screening, so I got to meet her there too. That's one of those Vestron ones. That's like a special edition that's numbered and all that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's number what is it? Number 25.
mine are right. If I can do my head right there. That's where
Okay,
my Vestron ones
cool.
are. So yeah, I got them too. Those are really cool. I like those. So
Uh,
those are so when you're talking, explain like the Vestron thing, like it, this is why it's important because Vestron is preserving these
okay.
movies.
So, it's good. Okay. To look at these things, and then I guess I'll go through all of them, I guess, like that. But like Synapse has like special features on its Thou Shalt Not Kill Except, including the original like short film Strikers War that they did with which actually stars Bruce Campbell, and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that they have these little things that you can watch and you can, check out and whatnot. Then Dream a Little Dream has audio commentary with film historian Jared Gahan, but it has like interviews, and I remember watching the interview with Corey Feldman and thinking this was actually pretty cool. And then it also has an interview with the executive producer, which is even also really cool. If you're into film, you want to know sort of how they made it and sort of all that stuff. This is the kind of stuff for that. And
Did you
Vestron,
see? Did you see Dream a Little Dream too?
I own it. I haven't seen it. Not yet, but I do want to see it because it's got both the Coreys again. And then I think was Nicole Eggert or who was the oh no, it was is a girl from Robin Lively, I think was in that one.
Oh, and
So
you like her?
I love her. No, I don't like her. I love her. I told her brother that once, Jason Lively, but I think he thought I met his other sister, which is more she's a little bit more famous now, Blake Lively. But I did not mean
Oh,
Blake Lively. I love Blake Lively, but I
married to
love,
Deadpool.
yes, but I love Robin Lively. I think I've always had a crush on her since I watched Teen Witch as a kid. So I was like, who is this chick? And then she was in Not Quite Human and a bunch of other movies and Karate Kid Part 3. So I just always had a crush on her. Um,
They
but
could do Dream a Little Dream 3 and get back like all the remaining cast and then do like a Force Ghost of Corey Feldman.
I don't want to
No,
want that.
Corey Haim.
Corey, but I wouldn't
Corey
want
Haim.
that. You can
Yeah,
still do it.
kind of like they did in Ghostbusters, with
I
Harold
wouldn't want
Ramis.
I wouldn't want that. I don't know. But also that'd be too expensive for a movie for like Dream a Little Dream. These were not expensive movies, these were pretty cheap. But low budget, not cheap, but low budget. Um next is a Tempe film, and Tempe is pretty cool. It's Bloodletting. I don't know if you
That's
can
a good
see.
one.
This is not bright at all.
That's better.
Yeah, so there you go. So Bloodletting, and if you look at the back, it's got two autographs on it, so that's pretty cool. It's got
Nice.
autograph by James L. Edwards and executive producer J.R. Bookwalter. So there you go.
And that's Makeflix, right? Who did that
Yeah,
version?
Make Flicks put it out, but it's Tempe. Tempe was the original people, but I think Make Flicks produced this new one. It doesn't actually, does it say Make Flicks? Yeah, it does say
Yeah,
makeflix.com.
for people who don't know, basically like Tempe shut down, which was I was really bummed about. And so whenever I find a used copy of a Tempe movie, I buy it, just for like a collector's thing. And but J.R. Bookwalter started Makeflix, and then which is like a video on demand company, and so you could get a lot of the movies that were on Tempe through Makeflix, including other things. David Sterling and some others work there. In fact, I have a box set that you can get through Makeflix. So they're another company uh, that is preserving movies, and they're worth buying from.
So interestingly too, it also comes with the soundtrack. So not
Oh,
just the movie.
sweet.
And it's got a booklet, which I didn't even realize it had. A little booklet, little bloodletting booklet. It's actually one of my favorite ones. We're doing it on Indie Film Cafe probably next season. Because we already did Robot Ninja this year, so we're gonna do Bloodletting or something. Because it's actually one of my favorite Tempe movies, but I didn't want to do it like early on in the Indie Film Cafe stuff because, it's one of my favorites. And James L. Edwards has been on Indie Film Cafe and reviewed other films and stuff. Not his own yet. That'd be interesting. Um, but there you go.
Yeah, that's a
Bloodletting,
good
and
one.
apparently it also has interestingly enough, it has a VHS version of the film with a new with the audio commentary with a guy named Doug Tilley and the Mo porn of the No Budget Nightmares podcast. So awesome.
Yeah, he puts out good stuff, and he always does. I think I have a few of his box sets, Jared Bookwalter, and he's got other things. Like I've been trying to get him to let me remake Zombie Cop. And on the Blu-ray for Zombie Cop, I think there's like two different versions. There's the original VHS one, and then there's like the new one that he redid.
We
So
reviewed Zombie Cop and woof because it wasn't with Paul. Paul had it was when I was in LA and I picked it because I remember liking it, right? And then I watched it with people who were very liberal, let's just say. And
yeah, it's not
and one of the liberal people is a Muslim, so she was not happy with the portrayal of a like you know a ta a and I'm only saying this as a word. This isn't like a disparaging thing or whatever, but a guy with a towel on his head at the convenience store, which was actually the writer. So if you ever remake it, you have to make it so it's nothing like
yeah. I
that
was
stuff.
curious of how I could redo it because I did rewatch it and I watched the like the redone version and I'm like, oh man, this would not fly today.
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
It got a low score on the stinkometer, or a high score on the stinkometer. Like it got like it was it they hated it, you know, my two friends. And I couldn't defend it. Like there's no way to defend it. Like there's no way to say, oh, and I even told them right before we started, because they had, you know, we do the introduction. I said that the writer and director have both disowned this movie. So, you know, and they've publicly disowned it. Now, whether or not they actually believe, like, you know, I mean, because at that time that was what
Well,
people
the
did,
the
but
the guy that's supposed to be in like the convenience store, he's Apu. He's supposed to be Apu, from The Simpsons.
he's white.
But
And
it's
yeah, it's
yeah,
just
it's
it's
so yeah.
not okay. It was not okay, but and then they started off with like the voodoo guy and everything, and then that was like that was completely racist too. It's
Yeah, and it's good to not get rid of this stuff.
right.
That's why I'm glad that he on these because I have that 6 pack. I think it's called like the SOV 6 pack, and
Hmm.
I bought that and it's got multiple versions of each film and stuff. And I like when people do that. I don't think that they should just eliminate, just remove. Oh no, this guy did a racist thing. Because like what Cliff told me, because I brought up the French Connection and how on the Criterion channel they cut out the scenes with the N word, and he's like, no, that was a Criterion, that was Disney who did that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, I'm glad that I own my box set of French Connection 1 and 2 because
Well,
I would never watch it.
it's weird because on Disney Plus, they don't get rid of the racial stuff. Like in Peter Pan, they don't get rid of the racial stuff that they have in the cartoon for Peter Pan. They just have like a disclaimer at the beginning
Which is
saying
fine.
that no, but that's what they should have done with French Connection, is
Yeah.
have a disclaimer at the beginning saying like we do not, you know, Criterion and Disney do not condone the wordings of these people. This is just how people did talk back then, and this was what was created for that time period. You know, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. I think it was sort of dumb for them to do that. So I don't
They'll all
condone that.
learn. I'm hoping sometime down the road. So, but all right. So
There, I
what
think,
else you got?
yeah. So another company called Indicator. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I
I've
just heard
got
of them, and I'm thinking of buying a movie from them. Yeah.
So I bought like a few of their movies. And so the my favorite that I own so far, because I haven't seen all of them yet. I'm gonna watch a couple more, but the one I love the most so far is The Tingler.
Oh, Tingler is
Um
awesome.
so I had never seen it before I bought it, but I knew like I love gimmicks and I love
Yeah,
like
William Castle and
I had a feeling I was going to love it, you know, or whatever. Like there was no nothing. And then I watched it. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Even if they didn't have the gimmick, this is still a great movie. You know, like this is
oh
just a
yeah.
really well done, well written, directed.
Well,
Vincent Price is
and
wonderful.
to let people know what the gimmick is, I mean, William Castle would put, if you've ever seen the movie Matinee with John Goodman, that's William Castle. That's who he's
Right.
portraying basically. And William Castle would do for like House on Haunted Hill, he would have ghosts come out of the ceiling and go towards the screen. For the Tingler, it was shocks that
Yeah.
certain seats were they would shock
Like
the people
rigged with
watching the
shocks.
movie,
Yeah.
and somebody would come in, like an usher would come into the theater and go, the Tingler is loose in the theater. The Tingler is out in the theater. Watch out. And then that's when the seats would get electrified. So he was a total showman. He was by far one of the best. I mean, it was, him and like Roger Corman at that time. And so even watching the Tingler and House on Haunted Hill without the gimmicks they're awesome movies. And yeah,
Well,
I love the Tingler and Vincent
this
Price. Yeah.
Blu-ray has a gimmick in it,
Oh, what
and
is it?
it's alternative feature audio with stereo scream sequence,
Oh,
you know.
nice.
And there's also an alternative feature audio with drive-in headlights sequence. So as if you were feeling like you were at a drive-in watching it. So
That is awesome.
yeah, so it and it comes with commentary, and I mean, It's loaded. If you look at it, like look at that's
You're not
all.
going to get any of that stuff if you're watching it just online. If you're just
Yeah,
streaming it, you're not going to. How that is fun. I didn't even know that was on there, and that is fun. And you're not going to get it. You're just
no,
not.
no. The Tubi will not release that version with the headlights. Just like that's just not going to happen.
No,
'Cause,
no.
so like
And now I've heard Tubi is turning. I guess the bigger they get, they're turning more into Amazon, where
TV.
they're like
Yeah, they're doing
saying,
like
yeah, don't have as much nudity, don't have as, and it's like, no, this was the independent place to go. And now it's turning more mainstream.
well, it's becoming corporate, and
Yeah.
once corporate buys companies like this, because then Fox bought it or something, like some company like that bought it.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, originally, and then they said they weren't going to change it. Ha! You know, they say that in the beginning so that they get you to go, oh, okay, everything's going to be fine, and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so next is a MVD film, you know, and MVD is I forgot what they're called, why they're called MVD. Um, anyway, MVD Entertainment. And this was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. I would watch this on television, then I'd watch it on DV or VHS and eventually DVD and everything. But that is Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, Love Lionheart. I saw that in the
It's
theater.
just a fun movie. It is on Tubi, I think, so if you want to just watch it for the first time, but I would suggest get this special featured one. There is a includes the original theatrical cut and an extended cut, which is about 6 minutes longer. So
Okay.
it's not too much longer, but it's a little longer.
6 minutes
And
is
it
good.
and it's got commentary by Sheldon Lettich, the director, and Harrison Page, but on the extended cut only. So that's interesting. And it's got some inside stories, like some behind the scenes stuff and things like that. Um, but what they do differently that and I know because we have a few of these, they give you the posters.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and so there you go. You got a poster of Lionheart, that you keep inside here, and
I
or
never
you
take them
or you
out.
or you can put them up on your wall like I do sometimes for different ones.
Yeah,
And
I keep all of mine inside. I don't think
yeah,
I've ever put any up on the wall. I
so
just,
I
I, unless it's framed, then maybe I'll
yeah
do it that way. But yeah, no thumbtack or tape. It's,
yeah. So I absolutely love this movie, and I've actually met Sheldon Lettich in person. I got to go to his house for an interview. I asked him
nice.
if I could interview him. Well, originally it was to get because he had promised me online. I had told him I was a huge Only the Strong fan, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. And that is not, I think that might be on a Blu-ray, but it should be on a Blu-ray because he was talking about that, how they actually recorded commentary for it and other stuff for it. So it should be out there. If it hasn't yet. But I was in LA visiting for the first time, and the day that I was supposed to like leave to go to the airport, I didn't have to be at the airport till like 9 at night. It was like ridiculously late. So I was like, what am I gonna do? And so I messaged Sheldon. I said, hey, you said something about having the only the strong poster and stuff and copy of it for me. And he was like, yeah. So uh con he gave me his house, and he said he was gonna be there, and his family was out, so I could just come over and hang out. And I got to go there and got to hang out with them. And then I got to go to the when I asked him if I could use the restroom, and he had posters of all his movies, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies and stuff in his bathroom. And I said, that's really cool. I've never seen that. I've never seen somebody actually put their posters inside the bathroom before, like as like art, and stuff like framed and everything. And so I asked him about that, and he goes, yeah, you know who doesn't like it? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what are you trying to say about my movies? Hey, you said that to
That's
him
what
when he
I
came
was
out.
thinking.
When he came out of the bathroom, I go, wait a minute, are you telling me that I've used the same bathroom as Jean-Claude Van Damme? Like I got like kind of crazy about that. Um, so yeah, he was super cool, and I love meeting Sheldon, and I think I feel bad because I haven't seen him really do a lot of stuff recently, and I feel like he's one of those directors that deserves to be continuing to do stuff. So, and this movie is by far one of the most fun action movies of the 80s and or maybe it was 90s. It's the 90s? 1990s. So it's basically late 80s, kind of
Yeah.
thing. All right, so these last three, good God, I've talked a lot about this stuff. The last three are sort of very important to me in some ways or another. So the first one is 39 Steps from Criterion, just
That's a good
because
one.
you get like, you get obviously the big book, you get the movie, it's got a lot of special features. But I wanted to pick which one I wanted. It was either going to be between this or Rebecca, but I chose this one because, to be honest, I like this one a little bit more than Rebecca. Um, it's just a lot of fun, and it's his first like real big spy thriller kind of thing, that he did, and Criterion does a great job on it. So I picked this for that, and you got to have a Criterion, in your collection kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, it's a good one. So
and then so that's an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And this is a John Carpenter movie, and it's my favorite John Carpenter movie. And I don't have it on 4K, which kind of bums me out. I want to buy it. It's just $30 on 4K, so I'm gonna have to eventually get it. And it is Scream Factory's The Fog.
The Fog. Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
so I absolutely love this movie. I love ghost stories. I love movies set on seas, and I love you know, what is it? Lighthouses. I think lighthouses are
I
fucking
love
cool.
lighthouses.
I think
I want to live in a lighthouse.
dude, if I could live in a lighthouse, I would absolutely. Uh, it would be hard because you have to figure out all the electrical stuff for heating and everything, and all that stuff throughout the year. But this movie is just amazing. If you guys haven't seen The Fog, it's fantastic. Great thing about the difference between this and some of the other companies is you get the reversible slip, so you can get
They
the
are
like
good at that. Yeah.
the classic one, which is what I usually go with, or the new and improved sort of one that they
So
do that they
when
decommission.
you get them and they have their new art, do you
Right.
flip it? Because I keep the new art because I don't want to crease it.
Oh, I
So
flip it. So
so you
this is
flip it?
this is the old art. This is the original
That's
classic
what you
art.
like.
And that's
Okay.
what I prefer on it.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Oh,
so the
so I got it. So since you're such a big fan of John Carpenter's The Fog, did you see the remake of The Fog?
I didn't actually, and I just
Oh
haven't.
man. Oh man,
Is
is it
that good or
bad?
bad? Oh, bad. Okay.
It is awful. It is, I don't know how this thing got made. The ending is so bad. It's, oh my God, it is awful. It
Oh.
is
All right. Well, I'm
horrible.
glad I haven't seen it yet then. I'm not looking forward to it.
Ugh.
And last, but certainly not least, because I tried to kind of keep my favorite for last. This is a very big, and this will make you laugh. It's Severin, and it is Hey Stop Stabbing Me. And the reason why it's my favorite, it's Severin, but it's Intervision. It's their company, like their separate division of Severin, and it is so fun. But if you look at the top of, I don't know if you can read that or not. Can you read that or no?
It says wickedly funny and imaginative. Oh, is that the one by Paul?
Yeah. So it says at
That's
the
what.
end, Indie Film Cafe. It's
Oh,
got
indie
our
film.
yeah, at the
Oh,
bottom it
that's
says Indie
so.
Film
So
Cafe.
read the whole thing then,
It
because it
says
gets tiny.
wildly funny and imaginative, almost a live action cartoon. This ambitious indie will get under your skin and stay there. And that's what he
That's
said. That's
indie
literally
film
what he
cafe.
said without his moves on his things that he adds like that.
That is
He
awesome.
took
You
all
guys have
those
been
out. Yeah.
quoted.
He got quoted. And I mean Paul got quoted. I was kind of jealous that it was Paul who got quoted, but that's it was just amazing that because this hadn't been out on Blu-ray before and we watched it on DVD and stuff. So I guess when they were looking for quotes about the film, they found that. They found Nashville scene did a quote, and so they got her. It's awesome.
That's
I
awesome.
yeah, that was my first 8, and those are all Blu-ray. And yeah, Lord, how much? Okay, all right, your first 8.
Okay, so this is a variety of VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. They're not
Okay.
necessarily my favorites, but I think that they represent physical media very well and why we need to keep it. So I need to bring this chair a little bit closer to set all this stuff on. Okay, so the first one is a VHS, and it's The Crush.
Oh, The Crush, but
Now,
Alicia Silverstone.
why do I have the VHS version of this? I
Because you
have the
can't get it
Blu-ray.
on. Oh, okay.
It's on Blu-ray,
It's on Blu-ray.
but the mother, so this is based on a true story. The writer had this happen to him, and he used the original girl who was underage's real name in the movie, which is Darian. And so the mother sued the studio for using her underage daughter's real name. And so when it came out on DVD, they changed it to like Rachel or something. So this is the only way of getting the film with the original name. And it even has the original name on the back. And to make sure, I checked like IMDb, and it does have the other name. So
Cool.
that's why I have this, and it just looks really great for a VHS. I mean, as old as it is. So to me, this is one of the important things of physical media is you can find these type of things where you can't get them any other way. Like this is you're never, except for this, or if they maybe, well, no, because they wouldn't show the film print, they would show a digital copy, which would probably be new. So yeah, so this is it. This is the only way of getting that name. Um, and I have to, of course, add in my guy Michael Bay. So we got Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2.
I have that collection.
And I put this on here because it's, Michael Bay's first feature film. And I've done some quotes recently from a YouTuber named Patrick H. Willem. His videos are great. His essays. He's now become a huge Michael Bay fan, who believes that Bad Boys should be treated the same way as Lars Van Heer's like Antichrist, and that Bad Boys 2 is probably Michael Bay's masterpiece. And so this is just a great collection of the two Bad Boys movies. And there's a bunch of special features on here, audio commentary with Michael Bay. And it just, if you really want a movie that represents Michael Bay, maybe these should have gone to Criterion. I would say
Maybe.
stick Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 3 it's okay, but it's not directed by Michael Bay. So, but it's, yeah. So it goes in this group as a representation of a first time film from him, and then what is considered by one person at least as his masterpiece. This one, I love these things, and I got this from Hamilton Book, and it was really cheap. It was like maybe $10, maybe less. But especially if you're older, like your dad would appreciate these. My grandfather would appreciate these. It is a giant set of classic science fiction TV.
My dad wouldn't appreciate that.
No?
He's not into sci-fi. No.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody your dad's age is maybe what I should say
Probably,
then.
yeah. Yeah.
It's television classics. It's got 150 episodes. Flash Gordon is on the cover here. And it's a 12-disc set.
Nice.
And I won't name off all of them, but you get like Captain Phantom from like 1965, 3 episodes. You get Space Destination, 1 episode, Flash Gordon, 14 episodes, One Step Beyond, which is like Twilight Zone, 18 episodes, Radar Men for the Moon, 12 episodes, The Shadow, 1 episode, Tales of Frankenstein, 1 episode, Thriller with Boris Karloff, you get 1 episode, Undersea Kingdom, that's with Lugosi, 12 episodes. So
Well,
this
Lugosi did a
stuff,
TV show?
some of these are serials.
Okay.
And they're all kind of packaged like that. They're all kind of it's hard to see, but they're all in their individual slip cases, and you get a booklet with it.
I don't know if I'd want to have
But
like just one or two cereals. Like that would just be weird to me because like the whole point of a cereal is like it keeps going and going, for
no, these
a
have
while.
so like um Flash Gordon, you get 14 episodes, so that's a complete serial. Anything that's long, Phantom Empire, 12 episodes. Radar Men from the Moon is 12 episodes.
Does that say that like Jim Wynorski's Phantom Empire was that a remake of that show or like or
A
is that just
remake tribute, I guess you could say, to these. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I love this type of stuff because you can't find it anywhere. You might be able to find episodes on YouTube, maybe,
Cool.
but where are you going to find 9 episodes of Space Angel from 1962? Oh, here. So
Nice.
this is, and this is great for like older
Maybe
people.
YouTube. YouTube you can find a lot of
Oh yeah, YouTube.
stuff.
And this is Mill Creek, who does a lot of this type of stuff. So these are all probably public domain stuff,
Yeah.
but they're all in one big collection. So that's why I love
Awesome.
this. Yeah. This is another collection, and I picked this one out of a lot of them because this is probably the perfect B movie collection. And it's Drive-In Cult Classics 8 movie collection, volume 2. So this has The Hearse, which is one of my all-time favorite like 80s horror movies where she's being terrorized by a hearse, which is, oh, I love The Hearse. Land of the Minotaur, which has Peter Cushing. The Creeping Terror, which is great. Bloodlust, which is good. It's kind of like a uh uh where they hunt people on. I'm blanking on the film title I want to talk about.
I I have the Creeping Terror as a Blu-ray, but that's with a double feature with the creep behind the camera.
The creep by
So
the yeah. So that's this. Yeah.
yeah.
But without the that like kind of documentary type of thing. And then Bloodlust is hunting people on an island. Terrified is really good. They Saved Hitler's Brain and Mad Men of Manadoras are the same movie, except this came first and then they turned it into They Save Hitler's Brain. So you're getting the original and then what was reshot.
So what is this? Why is this important to physical media? Like
Well, and then
having
the last one is Devil's Hand. So these are movies that are like 70s, 50s, 60s. It's a whole collection of these kind of drive-in movies that you may not necessarily see on even on Tubi. You might be able to see them on YouTube, maybe, but it's something that I think is important as far as preservation of films that a company, even these boutique companies, may not release. So The Hearse, I think, is just as important as the movie The Car, which was done by Anchor Bay. And Land of Minotaur, of course, is Peter Cushing. So if you're going to release like a deluxe version of something like Shockwaves, then why not do Land of the Minotaur? And then you get the two different versions of like They Saved Hitler's Brain. So to
nice.
me, just collections like this, which I have many right over here, I think are important just for preservation. And on the back here, it does say like new digital transfer from the original negative, new transfer, new anamorphic widescreen transfer. So Land of the Minotaur has only been full screen. Now it's widescreen. The Hearse is new anamorphic widescreen transfer from a high definition master. I mean, Devil's Hand, a new transfer from a new fine grain film print.
Ah,
So, and then when you open it, it's got all of its discs, and once again, it comes with one of these like little cool booklets that talks about the movies.
very cool.
So, yeah, so I think this type of stuff is important because it's something that maybe Scream Factory is not going to release because they
Right.
are these tiny movies. And luckily, somebody did make a movie about the making of Creeping Terror, so now we have a Blu-ray of that. But without
Mhm.
that kind of that making of, this
Yeah,
is it.
they probably wouldn't have done anything with it on Blu-ray.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the copies look good because there are all these new transfers. This one is you might even own this. It's DVD. It's the Dawn of the Dead Ultimate Edition.
I don't own that. No, yeah, I'm not you know, not a zombie fan, so I
Well, I
just
figured with you getting into me to the zombie films.
no, I haven't got
So
into that yet.
this is a massive. So you get disc one is the US theatrical version. Disc two is the extended version. Disc three is the European version, which would be the Dario Argento version. And then disc four is all the documentaries. And this is brought, I think it's Anchor Bay who brought this out, I think. I don't see, maybe it says in here, but it's done. I love how they spoiled that for you because that's one of our main characters. But it's a nice set that extends.
Jesus. Yeah, all of them on different discs.
Yeah, and you get a
Awesome.
comic book. So which is right
There
there.
you go.
So that's all of them. I do have a bootleg on a burned disc, which is longer than all of these. It's literally somebody took every single piece of footage they could find and made it into one long version. But this is the way to get the movie. So I think that is so. My thing with this is look how many different versions you get. You get them all in one place. You're probably not going to find all these versions streaming. You're not going to find it on Tubi. You're probably not going to find it, wherever. And you
Right.
got them all right here. So it's like, and plus people took time to do all this stuff. So, you know, and it's just a great set. I mean, it's really good. I still can't figure out. I thought it was Anchor. Oh, yeah, it is Anchor Bay. It says it on the bottom there. Anchor Bay. That's why.
Nice.
This
Anchor Bay.
is
They do some good stuff.
yeah. This is my all-time favorite comic book movie,
Mhm.
and it's this version of which is why it's my favorite. And that is the Ultimate Cut Watchmen, the complete story. Look how thick that is.
Nice. That's big.
Yeah, it's got, I mean, it looks like that. And it's got here's the motion comic. It's 12 episodes. So this follows the comic book. Well, the movie slightly, especially the ending, veers away from it. But this is everything. I mean, this is
Nice.
so
That's pretty yeah, that's got a lot of stuff in there.
yeah.
Kind of reminds me like remember Sin City did stuff like that where they just added a bunch of different discs for different, all that stuff. So maybe they stole it from the Watchmen. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or like,
it's the best way to watch the movie. It's the closest to the comic book because it even has the animation in it of the pirates. The ending is different. They changed it. The TV show, I think, kept the original comic book ending. But yeah, this is if you're gonna watch it, this is the way to do it. And so, once again, this is something that you're not going to get streaming. It's just going to be. I mean, this was a lot of freaking work,
mm-hmm.
and so I love this thing. So, I got two left, and this is one of my favorites. This did cost money. Uh, it would be more if I got the other stuff. I'm going to turn this a little bit here just in case YouTube sees it because there was nudity on it. Okay, there we go. So this is, oh God, I fucking love this. The Central World of Black Emmanuel. And this is Severin brought out this
Nice.
box set. So this is 15 discs,
15.
24 feature films, 2 soundtracks, compilation CDs, 40 plus hours of special features, and a 356 page book. And I love it, I love the Emmanuel stuff. So,
Yeah.
and you could spin the front here and put it on different things. There's nudity, so I'll quickly go by it, but different stuff. And it's just a beautifully done. I pre-ordered this thing way before it came out. And then it's got all of its, and then it's done like a book. Oops, quickly go past that. Oops, quickly go past that. But it's like this. So you have like these pages, like paper page, kind of like folders for each movie.
Nice.
So this thing is absolutely beautiful. And then you get this thick book about
That's a
the
big
making.
book.
Yeah, it's all
That's
about
a novel.
Yeah, I think this thing is absolutely gorgeous. And it's one of my favorites. Because I do have sitting, like right here, I have the other Emmanuel box set that has the 3 Sylvia Christel movies in them. So I got my little collection of Emmanuel. And then my last one, this goes for television, and this is great. My love for Mission Impossible, and they've now come out with a Blu-ray set, but this is every episode of the original Mission Impossible TV series.
Nice.
They're DVDs, and it's absolutely huge.
Yeah, that's a big box set.
Yeah, because the show went on for quite a while, and there's Martin Landau.
Fantastic Martin Landau.
And they're all
Bela Lugosi.
all like this. Yes, he did play Bela Lugosi. So they're all like that. So yeah, I love this box set. I haven't watched all of them because the series went on for a few years. So I've only watched. I used to watch it when I was a kid. My grandparents would watch it Sunday nights, Saturday nights, something like that, whenever it was on. And so I've seen them, a lot of them as a kid, but I don't remember any of them. And now it's not going back together again. So
it's so weird today with streaming that like cable's gonna go away, like or whatever. They're trying to get cable to go away because people would rather stream everything because you can just get it today, and everything or whatever. That's why a lot of shows on streaming are trying to do it 1 week at a time, like a normal, and so I wonder because is that really where it's going to get to, where it's going to be digital and we're going to see everything streaming, and we're going to have shows on Sunday that are going to come on at 8 o'clock on Disney Plus or Hulu or Netflix. And you know what I mean? Is that what's going to end up happening? Like,
from what I read, because of streaming, see, they're like, now you said like physical media isn't dead, but it is doing kind of a slow descend. So we're at one point may get rid of physical media, but at the same time, streaming is dying. Like people aren't subscribing, they're not watching, and so there's huge problems. So I read an article that talked about how streaming channels are going to just be like regular network television, that they are going to have, like, everybody's going to have commercials again, and it's just going to be like going back to the regular CBS and ABC, and it's just going to be like that. It's just going to go just back to what they were trying to not do.
And they're probably gonna have to do like satellite type stuff where they put, how Pluto, I don't know if you've ever used Pluto TV, but Pluto TV has it where it's like a TV. So you pick, there's a couple that you can watch, whatever, but you pick it like it's you watch it like it's a live television stuff, and they might have to go with that too. So I don't know. It's weird. Um so is that was your last one? Was the Mission Impossible one for your first eight?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay, let me see how I'm gonna do this. All right, it's funny because I thought I wasn't gonna have any that I didn't already you know like haven't already seen or something, you know? Like I was gonna pick things that I've already seen and I knew I liked, right? But there's one that I haven't seen yet that we're planning to do at some point or whatever. For we're hoping to do a zombie thing, right? So I grabbed the 4K of Zombie, which is from
Oh,
Blue
yes.
Underground, and I
Yes.
haven't seen it, but I want to wait till I'm reviewing it for my podcast, so I just haven't got up to just I'm not watching it yet, but I
That's
will.
gonna look great, sound great. Especially that
Uh,
soundtrack. Oh,
it's got
that's
two discs too. It's got the so I don't know if the first disc is the yeah, I guess the second disc is 2018 restoration with extras. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. I think that was a Blu-ray too. I don't think that was the 4K. Yeah, that's just Blu-ray. So, but
yeah,
anyway,
that's
there you go.
love zombie. Absolutely love zombie.
So, secondly is another MVD, but it's an MVD 4K, and it is Drive. I really love this
Oh,
movie. It's Martikakis, Kadeem Hardison, and Brittany Murphy, and it's done by Steve Wang, who I absolutely adore his stuff. So very well done. And Scott Phillips wrote it, and I'm a big fan of Scott Phillips. We
I know
watched
of the
one.
movie, but never
We,
seen it.
we watched one of Scott Phillips' movies. We watched Stink of Flesh in Las
Oh, I
Vegas
like that.
together.
Yeah,
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 when we were visiting in Las Vegas.
yeah. One of our first things.
Yeah. All right, so another John Carpenter movie, and I had to get a John Carpenter 4K, and I wanted to pick something I really really loved, but was shocked that I loved it so much because I don't know, for some reason I felt like it was gonna freak me out and scare me, from the stuff I've seen of it, but really didn't, but it still was really really good. Was Prince of Darkness. I don't
Yes,
know.
when
I
love
thought
Prince of
this
Darkness.
movie was going to terrify me, and it really, I mean, I guess I'm just getting jaded. Nothing really terrifies me anymore but horror films. So,
No, that's a great movie, and as I'm sure it looks good, and once again sounds good because the Carpenter soundtrack on that.
yep, it's 4K. So, yeah, and it's from Scream Factory. So it's also got the Blu-ray on it too. So 4K and Blu-ray,
Sweet.
which I love when they do that. Um, so I would rather them do that. Like, I'd rather them do 4K Blu-ray DVD than do 4K Blu-ray and digital, because I don't watch the digital copies of anything. I can't just throw those
I
cards
don't think
away,
I have. Yeah.
you know. Trying to decide what's next, because I guess I'll do this one next. This one I just watched the last year, and I liked it. I need to watch it again and again. It's not a movie that like you can just watch once and you've completely fully like immersed yourself in it. So I definitely want to check out it again and again. And it's got I think like what, three different versions, and that's Touch of Evil by
Ooh.
Orson Welles. And I liked it, but I think so I watched the theatrical version, I believe, and there's a reconstructed version which was re-edited in 1998. This definitive cut of the film is reconstructed to Orson Welles' original vision based on his detailed 58-page memo to the studio. And it's also got a preview version created prior to the theatrical version. The cut of the film incorporates some of Orson Welles' requests and was rediscovered by Universal in 1976. And then it's got 5 feature commentaries,
Jeez.
including one with Charlton Heston and Janet Leigh, and 2 newly recorded ones by film historian Tim Lucas and Imogen Sarah Smith, and Bringing Out Evil to Life and Evil Lost and Found featurettes. So it's
That's
packed and loaded.
one of the best scenes in Ed Wood, where he's talking to Orson Welles. The studio
Yep.
wants Charlton Heston to play a Mexican.
Yep. And then yeah, and he has no idea what movie that's gonna be or whatever. This was put out by Kino Lorber, and I fucking love Kino Lorber. They're one
Yeah,
of
they
my
got good
favorite
stuff.
companies. Now this is a Vinegar Syndrome movie. I forgot that I actually had one because I thought, oh, I didn't have any. No, I have one. It's a 4K. And it's one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. As a kid, I was into martial arts and action and whatnot. And this is one of my favorite movies, which is Sidekicks.
Psychics.
Yeah, I really like this. Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis are just wonderful in it. I think you told me, did you meet Aaron Norris once?
Yeah, well, I saw Sidekicks in the theater when it came out, but I did meet Aaron Norris at a screening for Hellbound.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he directed this movie, so this is a
Yeah, he
movie that
went from Chuck's stunt double and stunt man to director. Yeah.
yeah, his director, and he's yeah, and his interview on this is fucking amazing, by the way, because he does not pull any punches. He tells it exactly how the movie got made and one of the and how easy it was because he said that it's never been that easy since or before, you know? Like this was an easy thing of like somebody saying, "Oh, you need that much money? Okay, here you go." It was that simple of that thing and he's like, like that never happened again, you know. So, yeah. That this was just a very lucky movie that they got Jonathan Brandis at the prime of his career before unfortunately his tragic passing. But uh I rewatched this movie when I bought it and I was like, ah, this is so great. It just
It's a
brings
fun
me to
movie.
nostalgia and I remember seeing it in the theater, so um now, this movie I did not see in the theater, but I used to own on Betamax to the point where some of it would scratch up at certain points. And there was like a certain scene, I'll tell you which one it is after I tell you it's Princess Bride. And this is on
Ah.
Criterion. This is the 4K. And I know this is the 4K because I had the Blu-ray and it looks just the same. It's got the same hardcover, book on it. And and instead of whatever, it looks like instead of like a booklet, the booklet is the book, is a digibook.
Oh, that's cool.
So you get a little book like that. And the only reason I know it's the 4K is because my brother borrowed the Blu-ray and never brought it back. And I told him, just keep it because I got this, so I'm fine. Um, so he borrowed it one day, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then I kept forgetting to ask him to bring it back. And then when I knew this upgraded to 4K, I was like, just keep it because this comes with the Blu-ray, with the 4K. So might as well just it's okay.
Okay.
You can have it. Next is one of my favorite movies of all time. My friend Mackenzie. I don't know. Did you meet Mackenzie? Because she's been on my show before, but I don't know if she was on one of the indie film cafes with you
I
or
don't know.
not. I don't think so. She's this special makeup effects girl. And I asked her one day, I said, what's your favorite movie, of all time? And she told me this movie. And I was shocked because I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it. So I went and rented it, to check it out. And I thought it was fucking phenomenal. And that is Across the Universe. And I only picked
Oh,
this for the thing because even though this is one of my favorites now, this actually is one of my favorite movies. It is beautiful. The director Taymor did such a oh man, I don't like it looks like one big music video thing, but like done like exceptionally well. Like if you had a Hollywood music video, you know. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's
I haven't seen it. I do know of it. I know that it's Beatles, but
yeah. And if you're
yeah,
not a Beatles fan, and there's a lot of people who hate the Beatles because of political mumbo jumbo stuff,
never
whatever.
be friends with me if you dislike the Beatles.
Yeah. I just heard somebody today, just say how much she hated the Beatles, and I was like,
Never be
I
friends
didn't
with
say,
me.
yeah.
Tells me it tells me a lot about you. If you treat children poorly, animals poorly, and dislike the Beatles, I don't want to be your friend.
But this movie is fantastic. It's got some great shots and scenes and just
I've
it's
heard it's
beautiful.
good. Yeah, I do want to
Yeah.
see it. Just never got around to it.
You gotta see it on 4K. It just looks phenomenal. And last but not least on my 4K is my probably my second favorite movie of all time. If my favorite movie of all time was here, I would have on put it on put it up on the 4K and whatnot, which is Ed Wood, but that's not here, on 4K yet. Yet hope it's I think Disney owns it, so it may
Yeah.
never go up there. I don't know. They may have no interest in it. Though Sony is taking their stuff, so maybe Sony will be like, hey, I don't know. There have to be like an interest in it, I guess. But my second favorite movie of all time is True Romance. And this is Arrow's True Romance 4K. So it's just got the 4K. It does not have the Blu-ray in it. So you get just the movie, and then you get a bunch of these like little cards and stuff. No booklet, but a bunch of these little cards. You get a poster. The
Oh
poster's
yeah.
back there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did a
those are
yep,
the lobby cards
yep.
is what they
And
used to be called.
I absolutely love it. Oh, you do get a booklet. You get a little booklet right here.
Okay.
And so it's got some cool stuff about Tarantino and other stuff and just
Nice.
wonderful. So there you go. That was my last 8. So let me check something real quick. I'm down to 30%, so I think I have 20 more percent I can go down before it kicks me off. So just let you know.
You can't, can
For
you
my
plug in?
I can I would lose the audio, like
All
not
right.
all the way, but
Okay. So we'll get through this. Okay. So first is another VHS, and this, unless it's VHS, this does not exist because they've re-edited this movie like 10 times. And I prefer the VHS version, which is the theatrical version, and that is Highlander 2: The Quickening. I'm one of the few people who likes Highlander 2: The Quickening. I think this is the better version where they are aliens from another planet and not just like from the future or past or whatever the Renegade one has. I've never watched the show, but I own all the movies and stuff, and so I love the movies, but I haven't watched the show.
who was the person in the show? Because it wasn't Christopher Lambert.
He
Like
makes cameos in the show. Adrian something.
Adrian, God, what's his name? Because I know who you're talking about now. Because that's what he got famous for. Adrian Paul.
Yeah,
And he got famous for that. Because I was trying to remember, there's somebody really good that took over for Christopher Lambert, but it wasn't. And
he's
that
in
was
the
always the
movie and stuff
weirdest
too.
thing. It was always the weirdest thing is saying Christopher Lambert. When I'm used to the name being like pronounced Lambert. You know,
Yeah, it's just
but
that weird pronunciation, that like French, I guess, pronunciation of
I
it.
guess
But
it's French. Yeah, it sounds French.
yeah, well, he is French. So, yeah. So I long time ago, I got Sean Connery to sign a Highlander poster for me, and I said, "I'm sorry, it's Highlander," and he goes, "I like Highlander." Best
You did
wishes, Sean
not get
Connery.
rid of that poster, did you?
I sold it. Fucking yeah.
Why?
I'm a fucking idiot. That's why.
I mean, you had like
Dude, I had
autographs
so
and
many posts. I had Anthony Perkins sign a Psycho 3. I sold all this shit when I needed money. It was so stupid. But this is my preferred version
just
of it.
start
I
just
don't
start
care if
performing
people dislike the
tricks.
movie. Yeah.
Just go out in the parking lot and start asking for
Well, it
money.
is Vegas.
Yeah,
Uh so this one
it's legal in Vegas.
for the most part. Uh um so these 8 actually have a couple movies for people I know, so I kind of want to promote them too. And so this is Joe Lujan. And
Yeah.
this is Rust. So this is Rust 1 and 2. It's he made this whole thing. He made the movies, he made the posters, he made the Blu-rays, which I don't know which one is part 1 and which one is part 2 because they're just blank.
Hmm.
But he signed it for me, keep killing it, Joe Lujan. I signed stuff for him, and then he signed stuff for me on the same thing. But my reason for putting this out is this is basically what he would take to conventions. This is what he would give to fans. This is what he would give to cast and crew. I have another one for another 2 films that he did. And so without physical media, without this type of stuff, is he wouldn't be able to give the cast and crew. copies of the movie. And
Right.
so, and the version of Rust, the first one that went through Waldeye Releasing, is so dark that
I remember buying that and
it
being
is
kind of
so,
disappointed.
yeah, it is awful that Joe didn't renew the contract with them. And now he's just bringing it out himself. And these look
I think you
beautiful.
even
These
told
are
me to buy
Blu-ray.
that version at some point. So more,
It's
uh,
I still own it just as a collector's thing, but
yeah.
it's yeah. So
But let's
this
also really quick also clarify that this is not the Alec Baldwin Rust.
oh no, this is a slasher movie that takes place at a haunt with
Just to clarify, this
yeah,
isn't the
no,
one where
no,
Alec
it's not
Baldwin killed
Alec
a guy,
Baldwin. No, no,
you know,
no. This
killed
is
a
this is
girl.
yeah, and injured another person. So yeah, so it's important to have physical media because then independent filmmakers like myself, Joe, and yourself can actually, when the movies are done, when you have places like Kanaki and other places, that you can get stuff made and give it to the cast and crew.
Yeah.
So that's important. The next one, this one I brought up with Cliff, and we love this movie, so I thought I would bring it up on here too, just to see if you've seen it and what your reaction is. It is a 4K, and it is of Rollerball, one of the greatest
The
sports
original
movies.
Rollerball, right? Not the
Yeah.
remake.
Oh God, no, fuck the remake. The remake is awful. It should have never been made, and that is a film that should not be preserved at all. They should just burn everything on it. This is with James Caan, and Cliff loves this movie, so do I. It's about ageism in sports. It's about becoming like a god in sports, like people, like worshiping you, like they do
Mm.
today with football players and stuff. And it is a great movie, and it still holds up today. Yeah, it's 4K, so it's the only one that I have that's 4K. Have you seen it?
No, not yet, not yet. I want
It's
to.
on
It's just haven't.
Tubi. So I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to watch it, but it is
Um,
seriously one of the greatest science fiction, like dystopian sports movies ever made.
would you say like it's yeah, like it should be double featured with Running Man, maybe?
More the Omega Man or Logan's Run because of the time period, because of the
Okay.
70s being dystopian. Running Man could work because they're both sports. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I do recommend this. And I think this is, yeah, I think Cliff did put this together. So yeah, there it is. Yeah. Producer Cliff McMillan right there.
Nice.
So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So
I'll probably buy it. What is that? Scream Factory?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is I was either going to do this or Apocalypse Now, but I chose to do this instead. It's the Blade Runner 30th edition, the collector's edition.
Nice. Yeah, I got that for
And
my dad because you mentioned it, and
uh
that's the only way to see the theatrical on Blu-ray.
yeah,
You
I
know,
mean it is they got the storyboards,
it's a
and then
digipack. You know,
yeah, and you
that's what they're
get
called. Digibook. Digibook.
I I keep all this stuff so it's inside. So you get it's 3 discs, and let's see if it says on here. So you get disc 1 is the final cut. Disc 2 is the original theatrical cut. Oh, wow. So disc 2 is the theatrical cut, the international cut, and the director's cut. So you get 4 versions of the movie. And then disc 3 is the rare work print version, the
You have
great
five
documentary,
versions of the movie.
5 versions, plus the documentary, which is really good, called Dangerous Days, Stills, and Archive Images. And you get the booklet. This thing is, oh my God, it's really nice. I love this. And like Dawn of the Dead, you're just not gonna you're not gonna get this stuff through streaming. You're just not. It's just so beautiful looking. I mean,
It's
just
one of my dad's favorite movies. So when you told me about that before, like we did something like this, similar to this, and you pointed out that was your favorite, like that was one of your favorite movies, you had shown that off, and I said, "Oh my God, I got to buy that for my dad for his birthday last year. I think it
that was
was,
yeah, that's a good birthday
Yeah,
present. So
yeah.
yeah. And we haven't done a steel book yet. So I got to bring Tom Cruise into this. I'm bringing Michael Bay. I got to do Tom Cruise. So this is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and it's the steel book. And I always keep the little flaps. So this is really nice. Once again, you can't stream how are you going to get this?
Yeah.
And But normally with it, you just get the movie. There's like
Right.
nothing really special with it. It's the specialty is the steelbook itself.
Steelbooks are
So
nice. I've never gotten into steelbooks. Like, I collect a few of them, but they're not like there are some people who that's all they collect are steelbooks. They're
they're
steelbook
fun.
collectors, and
Yeah.
that's what they do. And no knocking. Look, if that's your kink, go for it. No kink shame here. But me personally, I'm into like whatever version of the film I can get my hands on. So if it's a steel book, like because it really frustrates me when there's a series of films like a franchise that does like two steel books, but then the rest, like I'll give you an example: Batman one, and Batman Returns are on steelbook. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, which are not good, movies, I understand, but they aren't in steelbook, and that throws my OCD off. So I'm like, I see them, and I'm like, like I don't care if they're not good. I still want them. I'm a completist. I want all of them. And Batman Forever is one of my favorites because when I was a kid, I went to see it in the freaking theater with somebody. I was supposed to go on a Interestingly enough, I was supposed to go on a date with a girl, and she backed out last minute, and everything. And one of the guys that was a lifeguard at the pool, because this was during the summer, and stuff, he said like me and some friends should go. So we all went, anyway, to the movie. And I got to see it, and I was happy to go with people. So Starla, screw you. But
Uh
yeah. I don't know her anymore, so it's okay. She won't ever probably see.
my next one is another collection. This is Scream Factory, Shout Factory, and it's the Fly collection.
The Fly. It's the Fly.
And it's got all the Fly movies,
Nice.
including the Cronenberg Fly movies. So you get the Fly. Oh, sorry, you get the Fly, Return of the Fly, Curse of the Fly, which is my favorite out of the originals, and then the Fly and Fly 2. And it's got this
Okay.
pretty cool,
It's got
cool
the original
box.
Flies and then the remakes, ish. I'm surprised they
Yeah.
haven't remade it again. Like, I'm not saying they should because everybody's all like, "Oh, why are they remaking, movies instead of showing original stuff?" I'm like, because some of that stuff's cool. Like, it would be fun.
Well, they wanted to do, I guess the second one didn't do as well as they were hoping. And so they were going to
It's
make
time for a reboot.
Flies and they were going to bring back Gina Davis, even though she dies in the second one. It's a different actress, but they were going to, yeah, they were going to do Flies,
Yeah.
but that
Well,
just hasn't. But I wouldn't want them to remake it because the Fly wouldn't be practical. It'd all be a digital
it'll be
effect.
CGI, but like whatever. Like I
I
don't think
mean,
they. I think we've already had the practical effects. Like fuck it, dude. As long as they had a really good budget for it and they could make it look cool, being a fly, I'd be okay with that.
Fly 2, I got to see with Chris Wallace, the effects
I th
artist who also did the who directed this. I got to see it at a special screening with him.
Speaking of your Michael Bay dude, they did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they brought Baxter Stockman into part two of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, live action movies that Michael Bay produced, and Baxter Stockman was the dude from they made him the dude from what is it uh Tyler Perry was him. And what's funny is Baxter Stockman in the cartoons became the Fly. He became a fly, like and everything like that. And they didn't do anything with that because they're already doing too much shit before, you know. So they didn't put him in there. So I'm guessing they were supposed to do that for the third movie. And then I
There
guess the
was supposed
second
to
one.
be, yeah, there was supposed to be a third one, but the second one didn't do as well.
Yeah, so sadly they never did that, and then they just made the cartoon, which is fine. I've heard good things, but I wanted a live action one. I like the live action.
I like them. I
Teenage
own
Mutant
both
Turtles.
live action ones. So my next one is from Vinegar Syndrome, actually. And it's the Amityville box set.
Amityville.
This was the first big collection that I bought with like that PayPal type of thing. And and it's got 4 of the Amityville films. They're called the Cursed Object films.
Mm-hmm.
And you pull the top off of the house,
Oh, that's cool.
and it's got blood all coming down it.
You pull the roof off.
And then, yeah,
Nice.
and then the movies look really nice too. So you got, which is weird. This is called Amityville Horror: The Evil Escape. So it's actually just called Amity 4: The Evil Escapes, which is what the
Right.
side is. And so, and then you also get Amityville 1992. It's About Time. That has one of my old loves. Megan Ward is in this one.
Oh, I love Megan.
Yeah.
Megan and Robin Lively. Jesus. Woof.
Oh
Those
yeah.
two were my crushes
And
back in.
then Amityville New Generation. So it's nice having these all on Blu-ray.
And then
And then
Amityville Horror.
Amityville Dollhouse.
Dollhouse. So not even the
Dollhouse.
first Amityville though. Okay.
So no, because these are the cursed objects. The Amityville, Amityville 2, Amityville 3, plus a documentary all have their own box set from MGM. These are
Okay.
the cursed objects. So
Okay.
Dollhouse is obviously a dollhouse. The Next Generation is a mirror. And then Amityville 1992 is a clock. And Amityville, I'm just going to call it Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes, is a lamp. So, and they come with, it looks like they kind of like what you like is that it's got the old poster and then their new art. So you could use whichever one on each one. So this is great. This is one of my favorite box sets. Because
It looks amazing.
yeah, it was originally it went out of print, so I found it for pretty cheap. Kind of like
Nice.
kind of like some of the other ones I got, like Mario Van Peebles and stuff. Or Melvin Van Peebles. And then my last one on here is this is from David Sterling. So you could get it through him or you could get it through that Makeflix. And this I like because once again, it's independent film. It's an independent filmmaker who gets independent actors and directors and all that stuff to make these movies. I've been involved in a couple of them, and that's the Camp Blood collection.
Nice.
And so this is really thick cardboard. So it's gonna last. It's got some boobs there, which is
Nice.
very David
Cleavage.
Sterling.
Some cleavage.
Yeah. And you open it. Normally he signs it. This mine is not signed. So when I see him again, I'm gonna have him sign it. But he normally, if you order it through him directly, he'll sign it David Sterling. And it fits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 movies inside.
Nice.
And then so I'll just do a quick just to kind of show them off here. These are done really well. So he includes in here, this is the only way he could do it. It's a 3D Blu-ray for Camp Blood 1 and 2. So
Nice.
it's so but it doesn't come with the 3D glasses, so you have to have the 3D glasses.
But you can't watch the 2D version of it?
I don't know if there's 2D on here. I think it's just 3D on one Blu-ray. I think it's just 3D.
Well, that sucks. Like,
I
no
think.
offense, but like that's a bummer if that's
I
true.
think that's the only way you could do it because of Brad Sykes. That there's that problem with Brad Sykes. So 1 and 2 on there. Then you get Camp Blood 3. And there's good art and all that type of stuff on this stuff. Camp Blood 4, which is made by our buddy, Mr. Ferguson.
Hey, my buddy. Just saying.
Camp Blood 5, also by the Ferg.
The funky Ferg.
Camp Blood 666, which is Ted Morin. So we like Ted.
I love Ted Morin. And Polonia did part 3, I believe.
Mark Polonia was part 3, yeah. And then he came, and then he does part 7.
Part 7. It kills, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Camp Blood, it kills or something.
Yeah,
You
something
know,
like that. Yeah.
they try to make it where it looked like it, to go with the
Yes.
it stuff. Yeah, that was bad.
Then he did the spin-off called Ghost of Camp Blood,
Goes to Camp Blood.
which I
Nice.
like. I've heard people not liking it, but I actually like it. And then there's a compilation that he did called Camp Blood Kills, which is also Mark Polonia, and it's scenes from all the other movies thrown in.
Uh,
So it's
okay.
like nudity, deaths, all that stuff just done in different sections. And then Camp Blood 8, which is Dennis Danu
Divine.
Divine. Is
Oh,
that how you said?
I don't. I guess. Like I
Yeah.
don't.
No, you're probably right. And then there's the new one, Children of Camp Blood, which is also Mark Polonia.
Yeah,
Well,
Mark Maloney did a
newer.
lot more of them. Most of them.
And
Like,
then one that doesn't fit in the box, which is from Will Colossal, which is Camp Blood 666 Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown.
nice. I love. Yeah, I love Will Clozo. So,
And then they just fit back in here. And that's why this
what are
is
you gonna do when all the rest of them come out? Are you gonna wait for another box set to make?
I think David said he's going to make another box set, that there's going to be like another box that you could just buy. I have found boxes that are very close to this, but for right now it just sits on top of it. But this is it goes back to the uh shit. Well, I'll fix it later. Um it just goes back to you can't, I mean, this is all independent. This comes out of David's pocket. This
Right.
isn't like a big studio like Warner Brothers or something.
Well, that's why he
And
deleted me as a friend on Facebook. And you know what? I found out I'm not the only one. There's other people he deletes when they say they can't buy his stuff right now. He's like, you don't have $20? No, I don't have fucking $20 for a Blu-ray in your movie. Well, then you're deleted. Bye. I'm like,
but what
what?
about buying in the future?
I mean, I never said I wouldn't buy in the future. I just said I didn't have the money right now to buy. But I guess he thought of it as like, well, this guy's not gonna buy my movie, so screw him. Delete. And I'm like, thanks, Dave. I mean, and he never remembers who I am. Like, I'm surprised he knows who you are because he never remembers who I
Because I
am. And
worked with David, I'm friends with
I
him.
know, but like, I met the dude in person, and I've interviewed him, and he just totally forgets who I am. So I'm like, all right, dude, whatever.
Ah.
I guess I'm unmemorable to you. It's all right.
Well, you're not part of the
But
camp.
I will support the stuff. I just, it was really funny. So Paul was gonna buy Camp Blood 4 or 5. I think it was 5. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. It's if you're gonna buy one Camp Blood movie, don't buy part 5.
Oh no, part
It's like
part
part
five is
6 is
is
right next.
yeah, part
Yeah.
5 is by far the worst. I've come to like part 4, and I've tried to convince both Dustin and David to kind of do like a 4.1 type of thing. Or you could call it like 4.5 because it's 4 and 5
Yeah.
combined. Like
That's
we
kind of
edit the
cool. That's a
movies
neat like thing.
into, yeah, one
Yeah.
movie, and the footage is there, that it's just they're just not doing it. So which I think is there is a Camp Blood 10 that I don't own. It's animated. It's an hour, and I'm
Animated.
the lead. So I'm the lead guy in it.
I'm
It's my
surprised you don't own
first.
it.
I just haven't bought it yet. I just so yeah, so there is a part 10. But as being the main actor,
Camp Blood X.
maybe
Did they go to
maybe
space?
they don't. No, they go to
Damn
a
it.
park again. But maybe since I'm the lead actor, I could just get a copy. But instead of having to pay for it. But but that's okay. I'll support. I'll support.
Because if you
So
don't buy, David will delete you.
no, he won't delete me.
You know,
We're
I
actual we're actual
I
friends.
I know he calls you up and shit and stuff and talks to you. But
Yeah.
me personally, I mean, I'm not the only one. Like I heard somebody else said, like, yeah, I forgot who, and plus I wouldn't say who it was because they're not here to say anything. But another person had said that that's exactly what David did to them too, and I was like, that's funny. I thought I was the only one. I thought thought he just got really mad at me one day because I didn't buy his stuff, and he was like, "Fuck him," you know. And I'm like, all right. I never added him again. I never like. I was like, all right. I kind of view now if you block me or you delete me, then I just don't care about you like that. Like I'll still support David's stuff and everything, but I'm just not. I'm not. You
Well, you
know.
would support Will Colossal, you know, if he
Yeah.
does Axe Grinder
Or yeah,
or
I'll
Camp Blood,
support Mark
but it's not
Polonia. You know.
necessary. Yeah, it's not supporting David. It's supporting the
And it's
filmmaker, not the
supporting David
producer.
because David produces these movies. Like it's
Okay,
supporting
all
him. It's
right.
just not. I'm not doing it going out of my way to say, hey, all that. Um, I know Dustin Hubbard loves the witchcraft movies, or whatever, so, and David owns those, so putting those movies out. I don't have that kinship for like Camp Blood or whatever, or Axe Grinder or any of those things. I just find them to be like cool. They're great that there's indie franchises out there. Like I love that, but they're not, kind of like my favorite things in the world. Like I don't believe unless you're like uh Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th, that you can't make a movie independently and have other people come and take it over like Mark Polonia, because it's just not going to feel the same as the other movies. So everyone's going to feel different, in my opinion. You know, they're not going to feel like, oh man, this is a Camp Blood movie. You know, especially if you get Dustin Ferguson involved. It's just not going to have
Well,
the same.
there's
You
two
know,
sides to every story, and I've heard both sides of that. So it just depends on it. Probably the truth probably falls somewhere in the middle, you
yeah,
know. So I've heard Dustin's side, I've heard David's side, and then there's the middle.
yeah.
So but but I don't know. I say support David, support Joe Lujan, support the boutique companies that are out there, and since they're not as seen as Warner Brothers or Paramount or somebody, um, support them.
Support Full Moon, who has had a
Full
streaming
Moon,
company at one point. I don't know if they still do or not, but and Troma has Troma now. Like support these companies if you can, because giving just to the corporations doesn't help these other lower budgeted films get made.
well,
And
yeah, and in some cases, something for like Full Moon or Troma, that's they could make money off of streaming. So
right.
even though you should buy their physical copies, it also helps them with
I mean,
streaming.
yeah, I'll still
So
buy Puppet Masters one through whatever, but like say I'm in the mood to just watch it on Tubi or on their full moon streaming, I would do that. Um, I I think like honestly, a lot of these indie film companies should keep their streaming channels to $5, and that's it. Like Troma now, I think it's $5. I think that's a good rate. When you start coming like $20, I'm like, you're going into, this is the problem, is like people can't afford, you know, to put that into their stuff every month for all the different streaming. It's the same thing for people with like fan sites and stuff like OnlyFans or whatever, charging $20. Chick, nobody's gonna pay $20 for your shit. And if they do, good for you, but you gotta keep it like $3 to $5 a month, because people just can't support, that kind of shit for so much. So anyway, yeah, that's my opinion, and I might be wrong, and if you feel like, going for $20 and you're making that much bank on it, I'm wrong, you know, but I would say $5 is a good amount for things these days, because you can get a bunch of people to pay $5, a month,
sure,
you know, as opposed to more expensive and maybe finding like two or three people to pay it, a month. So
yeah, there you
that's,
go.
but yeah, streaming's not dying exactly, but it's gonna have a change, you know.
Well,
Uh,
they're gonna have to figure out what to do, because I mean, I think that they've had easier times with converting to other things. I mean, you had your main channels on your TV, and then you got the channel box that then gave you HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax and Playboy and all that. And they converted pretty easy to having both. And then, even going from something like cassettes or vinyl to CD. But this seems to be an issue with
Mhm.
like they really don't know what to do you know, with theatrical runs and then streaming, and do we release it at the same time? And, do we not? How long in between? So it's yeah, they're gonna have to figure that out. And they seem to be having a really hard time with it. So I would say for right now, just keep buying physical copies, and then
The
you know,
importance of it, man. It's important to own it, to have it, to keep it, if to preserve it, you know. Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna die with these in my casket. They're not coming with me. Maybe my pet monsters all will, but
uh,
though I may even, if I have a kid, I may give that to my kid instead, or grandson or whatever, like I'd rather have that. But um, I personally, um, these are just things that I'm very happy to have and own and be able to watch at any time. I mean, if I need to see something and whatnot, I mean, we have the beautiful thing about today is we do have like Tubi, and we do have these companies that um, you know, exist. And like tonight, my friend and I are watching a movie that is on Tubi, you know, that I could probably buy on DVD, but I don't own it on DVD, so let's watch it on Tubi. So we have these ways to watch these movies, and that's what's important to me is being able to still see them. But not everything can be streaming, and a lot of things are on, DVD or Blu-ray, Some are not.
well,
You
yeah,
know.
I mean that's when Donald Wills and I did film discussion for the Lethal Weapon movies. We were watching the director's cuts, and all of mine played fine until part three, where it just froze, and I couldn't finish the movie. So I had to find it streaming. And oddly, they're Warner Brothers, and they're not on
And Max,
Max. I couldn't find them anywhere except for my is it legal, not legal, kind of legal, because it has ads website. And I think it was just the regular theatrical version. But at least I could finish it. At least I could see it.
yeah.
So where my physical copy failed me because somebody sold me a used copy that was damaged, and then I'll have to purchase it again. But I was able through streaming to finish it. Otherwise, I would not have. No matter what I did, that disc was not going to finish. So in some ways, streaming is good. You know.
I think we should have another discussion, like a part two of this at some point, and discuss more about the importance of stuff. Sorry, my computer is dying. It's a MacBook Pro, so they only have two slots, and one had to be for my camera, one has to be
Well, I
for my
think we're
sound.
pretty much done. I mean, we showed
Yeah.
off our stuff and all that, so I think we could wrap it up. So, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I mean just keep buying physical media. That's what's important. Just keep buying movies. Show the people, and if you have to buy it online on Amazon or eBay, I buy a lot of stuff on eBay nowadays. Buy it on those, things, but just purchase them, get them out. Stores are dying with this stuff, but stores are sort of dying, period. They are not doing as well because people can just buy the shit online. And why get it now at Best Buy when you can order it online and get it the next day and it be cheaper, Like why? You know what I mean? So that's where it's going toward. But go buy them. And also let us know what you think of, physical media. Do you think it's sort of a dying breed, you know, or is it continuing to grow?
I don't think it's growing, but it's but then
I think it's sort of
everything comes
growing.
in. Well, I mean, like if you go to, I think it's Target, you know what their number one thing is?
What?
Vinyl.
Oh,
They have an entire row of vinyl. But
yeah.
yet CDs, DVDs, all that stuff is very tiny. But so vinyl's making a comeback, or it already has. So
VHS has made a comeback. I mean, you know, it's a lot of this stuff. So,
yeah,
um, well, also boutique companies are coming out. You know, there's a lot of these things. So it it's coming. It's just, you know, and as your buddy Cliff said in the interview, if you guys haven't seen that interview with Cliff McMillan, oh man, my voice is going now. We've been talking all day, so I'm not surprised. Um, the interview with Cliff McMillan was awesome because he mentions the fact that these films are um you know are sort of getting preserved this way, and like if an indie company wants to create and distribute stuff, they can, right? Like if you wanted to start your own distribution company, you could do whatever you want. You know, you could create these things, you could put out whatever you can, you know, and everything. And that's what a lot of these companies are doing. They're trying to find the movies that are slipping through the cracks that nobody is preserving, and they're trying to preserve them. So companies like, you know, Lorber, Arrow, all of them. Thank you. Thank you guys all. Thank you, Cliff. Just gonna say that. Just thank you
yeah.
guys
Thank
for
you,
doing all
thank you.
this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So yeah,
yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
okay. All right, everybody. So go support all this stuff and bye bye bye. Because soon it will be bye bye bye. Um, but
Did you just turn into NSYNC? See, that's our age difference right there.
yeah,
I'm
I
an
don't
NSYNC
know
junkie.
anything.
There's a song called Bye
I'm
Bye
saying
Bye.
bye 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 BUY because soon enough
Oh,
it will be bye 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 BYE.
the NSYNC.
So
Okay, never mind.
yeah, that's no, I don't know anything. I just know that they were puppets at one point on an album cover. So
They are puppets. Yeah, that's for sure. All right.
all right,
Anyway,
everybody. So thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate it. And yeah, so I'll see you on the next video. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
all right,
And
everybody, have a good one.
yeah, and we'll see you on the next one. So bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.